Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to answer the question, is the Kohree portable tire inflator a suitable product if you are a truck owner, or how about an RVer? Is this small portable tire inflator powerful enough to top off your tires on the go, right? Is it up for the task? Now what I'm thinking is, if you're a truck owner, an RVer like myself, and you're at your home base, at your garage, likely you've got a 120 volt air compressor, a big air compressor, right? That's gonna be more efficient and faster to fill your truck tires and your RV tires. But let's say that I'm out at a campsite, I forgot to top off my tires, it occurred to me, or maybe there was a sudden temperature change and I need to add some air to my tires, because after all, if your tires are low on the pressure, it can be dangerous if they're underinflated, and it can cause a blowout, especially on RVs. And so you always want to make sure that your tires are topped off at the correct air pressure. So is a small portable air inflator like this one here, is it up for the task? I'm not thinking about using this on a regular basis, to constantly be filling up my truck tires and my RV tires, but just for situations where I'm on the go, I don't have access to my big air compressor, and I just need to add, maybe 5 to 10 PSI to the tires. And so in today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how the Kohree portable tire inflator actually performs in a real world scenario, especially with larger tires like I've got here on my truck. These are 20-inch rims, and the tires themselves are about 34 inches tall. They've got a pretty wide track. Not only that, but the pressure itself, typically on trucks that are intended for towing that have higher payloads, the pressure on the tires is higher to support that extra capacity. And so these are supposed to be inflated to 70 PSI. So I think that'll be a really interesting test to see how it performs. And then I'll also do the same on my RV back there. It's a smaller RV, only about 6,000 pounds gross. But before I run the test, let me tell you a little bit more about the device and show you what all comes with it. You can see the footprint of the device itself is very compact. Remember, it's not just an inflator here, but you also have the power that runs the inflator built into it. So it has a lithium battery inside that's of course rechargeable. So that's pretty neat. You don't have to plug anything else in. And I'm just thinking, in terms of using this in an emergency situation where you just need to top off your tire. Let's say that you're stranded on the side of the road and you need to fill up the tires on your truck or RV. A lot of the inflators require you to connect it to your vehicle's 12 volt starting battery or your RV's battery. And so you got to drag out cords, and you're doing all this on the side of the road and just being out there longer than you need to. So I do like that this is so compact. You don't have to plug it into anything. It's all set and ready to go. It does come with this little hose, of course, that you will attach to your valve stem to fill up the tires. And then on the top of the unit, it does have a USB-C port for charging. It also has a USB-A and then a DC barrel plug, which is going to connect right here to this 12 volt style plug if you want to recharge it in the vehicle. So it's very compact, very simple. You can actually store the hose on the bottom there. And then as far as other things you get, you could also use this to fill up smaller tires, of course, like on a bicycle, or you could use it to inflate, sports balls, things like that. They do supply a USB-C cable, and then we get a little case, a storage case to put everything in. And then here's what the owner's manual looks like if you want to pause and look at anything in particular. I'll give you a quick view of all that. Now, as far as operating the device, it's really simple and straightforward. We've got a power button right here that we press and hold for about a second. It turns on, and then the top row of the display has different modes here. And so if I press this bottom button, it goes through the different modes. The first one is for cars. Then we've got motorcycles, bicycles, sports balls, and a custom mode right there. And so the modes are basically there for safety reasons. So if I'm in the car mode, it limits the maximum PSI to 50 before it goes back down to the lowest, which is 26 right there. And that's so that if you're filling up a sedan, a smaller vehicle with smaller tires, and you wouldn't want to, set the PSI to 100, walk away, and then you're trying to, fill up a tire that's rated for 30 going to 100. So it's basically there for safety to limit how high the PSI setting can be. And so we're going to be using the custom mode because we're going to go up to 70 PSI on the truck and 65 on the RV. And so that custom mode will allow us to get up to that particular PSI. Then it also has on the top some LEDs right there. So we've got a white LED, a red one that flashes slowly, and then a more rapid one right there. And so I think that could be useful, if you're on the side of the road using this and it's dark at night, you could turn that on as well just to alert cars so they can see you better from a distance if you're using this at nighttime. Okay, so let's perform the tests next. I'm gonna start with the truck tires here, and let's get everything set up and see what this guy is capable of. So first I'm gonna set the target PSI on the device. It can go up to 150 PSI max. I'm gonna set it to 70 here for the truck tires. And then I already went ahead and deflated these slightly, I think just above 60 or so. We'll see what it is currently. But we just make sure it's nice and snugged up. So it's giving us a current reading of 62.5, and I've checked it for accuracy, and it's pretty close, within half a PSI compared to what I'm getting on analog readers. But basically, you just set that target PSI, and then when you're ready to go, you just press the power button to fill. So we'll go ahead and get ready to press it, and then I'll start the stopwatch at the same time. So here we go. Okay, so we are right at just under 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I stopped it a little bit late right there. But that's pretty impressive for, such a small pump like this, considering the amount of air volume that's in these larger tires right here. The fact that it can get it up to 70 PSI right there. Again, this is something that you'd use in an emergency situation, not of course when you're, at your home base, at your garage. And for those curious on the specific tire size, this is the LT275 65R20. So a pretty big tire right here. I actually tested this inflator before recording on my Jeep, which has 33-inch tall mud terrain tires, but a smaller wheel. And so arguably in the Jeep tires that I tested on, there's probably even more air volume inside of the tires. And for those curious, I deflated the tires on the Jeep to 20 PSI, and then I went all the way up to 40. So a pretty, extreme test, and it took about 5 minutes in that scenario. But next, let me test it out on the RV here and see how it does on these tires. Like I said, it's a smaller RV, and so these are more modest sized tires. They're 14-inch rims. And so these might be closer in size to what a sedan or crossover might have on it. But let's just see, for comparison, how it performs. So I'm gonna power it on again, and this time I'm gonna set the PSI to 65. So let's go down here, and of course I've got it in the custom mode. All right, so it's reading 56.5, so it's gonna be going up about 9 PSI or so. So let's see how it performs here. Okay, so quite a bit faster here. You can see we're only about 1 minute and 26 to go from about 56 or so up to 65 PSI. And so a lot of that has to do with, again, the size of the tire, the fact that this is not only a smaller diameter tire, but not as much air volume overall. And for those curious, this is the ST205/75R14. Now let me answer a final question, and that is battery life. How many tires can you inflate with this portable tire inflator before you have to recharge it, right? Because I think that's a major selling point with this device, and that you don't have to connect it to any power source when you want to actually use it. So how many tires can you realistically inflate before you got to recharge it, right? And of course, that's going to vary, just like MPGs on a car, based on how you're using it, what kind of tires you're filling up, right? And so let me give you some ballpark estimates just based on how I've been testing it over the last week. I think if you're using it for smaller trailer tires like these here, you'd have no problem, topping each one off from 55 to 65. No problem on a single charge. You could do all 4 of them, maybe even 5 or 6 before the battery's going to run out. But if I'm doing larger tires like what's on my truck over there, because there's more air volume, or what I did on my Jeep, I think you're going to be maxing out probably around 2 or 3 tires before it's going to go all the way down to 0, and you'll have to recharge it. So hopefully that kind of gives you some estimates. It really just depends on what PSI you're starting out, what PSI you're getting to, and how many tires you're doing, and what's the air volume like, because that's really the big factor. Bottom line is, I do think they sized the battery properly for this device. I mean, depending on your unique use case application, I think you're going to be able to get anywhere from 3 to 6, maybe even 7 tires inflated. And so I think for most of us, that covers the kind of situations where we'd be using something like this in a portable situation. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions I didn't answer in the video, definitely drop me a comment below. I will include affiliate links to purchase this portable inflator below, so I appreciate you using those to help support the channel. As always, thanks for watching.